Hello everyone, it's Nina and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we would do a good old-fashioned book haul. I thought I would show you guys everything I've picked up in the year so far. I'm currently filming this in the last week of May, so we're about halfway through the year. And yeah, I thought I would show you everything I've picked up. I think I've honestly been doing pretty good. I've been pretty diligent about actually reading my physical TBR, as well as only picking up books that I think I'm going to read relatively soon to when I first buy them. So I'm excited to go through everything I've picked up today with you guys. Anyway, with that intro out of the way, let's get right on into the video. I think I'm going to start off by showing you all the books I specifically went out to buy, and then we'll move into just kind of a larger chunk of books that I got at a recent library sale. The first book is one I showed, and I think another book haul / TBR I put up on my channel, and that is apparently Sir Cameron Needs to Die by Greer Stothers. This is an adult gay fantasy rom-com. I'm currently in the process of reading it right now. I think I have around 60 pages left. This is a book I had on my general spring TBR that I now am very close to finishing, hopefully before the end of May. This is a very beautiful first edition copy that has this foiling on the front and this sprayed edge design with arrows, swords, and skulls on it. It is a very beautiful book. However, I am not the biggest fan of this book. In terms of reading it, I think it's probably going to end up being around a 3 or 3.5 star. There just hasn't been a lot of things in this that's really stood out for me. And the humor, I just feel only really lands half the time. A lot of it, I am just not the biggest fan of. So unfortunately, this was a little bit of a miss. I don't know. It could be amazing. I do really like the world building, and I feel like it's going to get pretty weird with the last 60 pages or so. So I'm holding off for final judgment until then. I do believe this is also the start of a series. I don't know if it's a duology or if they're going to keep going after that. But yeah, I feel how I feel in the last 60 or so pages might determine if I am going to continue on with the series or not. But yeah, this is the first book I have here to show you. The next book is another one I have read, and that is the 5th volume of Heaven Official's Blessing by Mo Xiang or MXTX. This book I read as part of my second Heaven Official's Blessing series reading vlog, which I'll try and link up above if I remember. This is an adult / new adult fantasy romance that follows our main character, Shilian, who is a heavenly official, basically a type of god. The main premise of the story is him kind of regaining from his reputation as a misfortune god by kind of doing odd jobs for other heavenly officials, helping fight against mischievous ghosts that are plaguing the human realm. He also has a relationship with this guy, Hua Chang, who is one of the 4 calamities, really powerful ghost kings, who is very attached and devoted to Shilian for reasons that we still don't really know at this point in the series. I've been really enjoying this series. This one was definitely my least favorite of the volumes that I've read. I gave it 3.5 stars. However, I do really like this series overall. And actually the 4th volume, which I got as a Christmas gift last year, was probably my favorite of all of the volumes I've read so far. These are the new special editions that have come out. So they have this sprayed edge design that actually matches up with the other volumes, as well as it has a nice end paper design and foiling on the actual hardcover. Really happy that I'm making more progress in the series, and I'm definitely going to pick up the last 3 volumes probably sometime this year. Okay, the next book in this pile is one of the other ones that I've read, and that is The Long Game by Rachel Reed. This is the 6th and most recent book in the Game Changer series that is the continuation of Shane and Ilya's story. Unless you have been living under a rock, you probably are aware of Heated Rivalry, the TV show, and its insane popularity since December. The Game Changer series overall is a bunch of gay hockey romances, and this one follows our main characters Shane and Ilya that are hockey players on opposing teams that have a secret relationship. This book, The Long Game, is probably going to be the basis for the 2nd and possibly 3rd season of the Heated Rivalry TV show, and I love this. This is my first and currently only 5-star of 2026. As you can see, I tabbed the crap out of this book, and I really, really liked it. I have a whole reading vlog dedicated to the entirety of the Game Changer series, which I'll also try and remember a link above. But yes, I really, really like this. I can't wait to see what they do in the 2nd season. I just love this universe and these characters. I feel like in a lot of ways, Heated Rivalry is very much Shane's book, but The Long Game is definitely Ilya's book. I feel like it focuses a ton on his mental state, and I just really love it. I have so many favorite scenes from this book that I can't wait to see what they do with in the TV show. So yeah, very happy I picked this one up, and I really, really loved it. Okay, this is the last book in the pile that I've actually read, and that is A Gentleman Never Keeps Score by Cat Sebastian. This is the 2nd in the Sedgwick series by her. I read this book last year and gave it 4.5 stars. I really, really liked it. It's definitely my favorite out of that series. For some reason, my local Barnes & Noble only ever has the first in the series in stock, but I knew I was going to eventually buy this one to add to my collection. And when we went out for Independent Bookstore Day, we went to Cupid's Bookshop, which is a romance-only bookshop in Philly, and they had this one in stock. So I knew it was the moment for me to pick it up. This is a 1800s Regency historical romance. I really like this one. I love a lot of Cat Sebastian books, and I feel like she does the best work when she's writing Hurt Comfort, which this relationship definitely is. I just really liked it. I also feel like this is probably one of her books that I can see my wife reading and enjoying, which is another reason why I wanted to pick it up. Okay, all the books we're going to talk about next are ones I have not yet read. The first one we have here is Twisted Shadows by Ali Theron. This is the second book in the Sugar and Vice trilogy, which is a set of gay, like paranormal, urban fantasy / sci-fi romances that also have a like murder mystery, kind of like police procedural element to them as well. I honestly love the combination of all those things that were going on in the first book in the series, which is Liar City. It takes place in a alternative version of Seattle, where there's a group of people called empaths that basically can read other people's emotion, primarily through touch, and they are kind of treated like second-class citizens. There's a lot of like political machinations going on trying to like restrict their abilities because people consider it a like invasion of privacy that they can read your emotions. Our main character is an empath, and then he ends up kind of working alongside and I think eventually developing a relationship with this other character who is considered a empath hunter. I overall just like really love Ali Theron. I absolutely love her Magic in Manhattan series, and I'm really excited to read more of this one. The third book, Edge of Mercy, comes out, I think in either June or July of this year, and I definitely need to pick that one up when it comes out because I'm pretty sure this one leaves off on like a pretty big cliffhanger. So I'd love to read this one and then that one back to back. I also recently saw in some interview clip that Rachel Reed said that the Sugar and Vice series is one of her favorite series and she's friends with Ali Theron. Which obviously I'm like, okay, taste. But I'm also like, hey, can someone adapt this series into a live action gay romance the same way people did with Heated Rivalry? Because that would be amazing. Anyway, very happy I picked this one up and very excited to get to it, hopefully in the next couple months. Okay, the last book I like deliberately went out and picked up is The Devil She Knows by Alexandria Bellafleur. This is a contemporary like magical realism lesbian romance. I'm just going to read like the tagline because I feel like it says it all. A down-on-her-luck woman makes a deal with a crafty demon to win back her ex-girlfriend after a proposal gone awry, only to discover the girl of her dreams might be the devil she knows. So it's basically between a woman who makes a deal with a demon in order to have her grant her wishes, but then she ends up falling for the demon instead. I first heard about this book actually because I saw the cover on Pinterest, and I think the cover is so funny. The tagline over here is going down. And I love the like triple entendre going on. Obviously they're in an elevator. She's a demon, so they're going to hell, but also like lesbians going down. It's just perfect. I think the cover is so funny. I'm super excited to read this. I'm pretty sure my library also has the audiobook available, so I'm definitely going to probably like tandem read when I eventually pick this one up. I've also heard a lot of good things about Alexandria Bellafleur. I think she has a couple other lesbian romances, and this is probably the one out of all of them I'm most interested in because it has that like magical element with the demon. So yeah, very glad I picked this one up. This is also a book I picked up at Cupid's Bookshop in the same shopping trip when I got A Gentleman Never Keeps Score. And yeah, I'm super excited to read this one. Okay, the last section of books is going to go a little bit faster because it's basically all the books I picked up at one library sale. When I'm at a library sale, I'm a lot less discerning about the books I'm buying just because they basically cost, less than $1. I'm filling up a bag for $5. These books probably only have a value of around like 50 cents each. So I'm a little bit more willing to pick up books that I might eventually unhaul a couple days later. Honestly, there have been a couple books already that I decided I picked them up in the moment, but I don't actually want them. So they're going to go back to little free libraries in my area. I consider it like no harm, no foul. And again, it cost me basically no amount of money to get them. Since we just talked about Alexandria Bellafleur, I can talk about the other one I picked up from her, which is Written in the Stars. This, I believe, is a modern, like kind of light Pride and Prejudice retelling, but make it lesbians. Honestly, the easiest way to get me to read anything is just make it lesbian, so I'm one of the rare millennial women that is not obsessed with Pride and Prejudice, but I'll be willing to try it out in this format. I actually found another lesbian romance while I was at the book sale, which was Something to Talk About by Meryl Weisner. This is a contemporary lesbian romance between a Hollywood actress and her assistant. I've heard that the vibe between these two is very similar to Miranda and Andy from The Devil Wears Prada. It's just been another lesbian romance I've kind of had on my radar for a while. And when I saw this, I was like, okay, perfect time to pick it up. The next book I picked up is Special Topics in Calamity Physics by Marisha Pessl. This one I've also had on my radar for a while. I've heard that this book is, if you like The Secret History, it's one of the only books that has a very similar vibe. Beyond it being like dark academia, I do think it is set in a like private school. But I think in terms of the like vibe between all of the members of the friend group and the writing style, this one is supposed to be pretty similar. I love The Secret History, and I'm always looking for a book that's similar to that, not just in the like surface level dark academia vibes, but in the actual like way that The Secret History is written. So I'm hoping this one does not disappoint. Okay, the next set of books are just kind of all ones I picked up somewhat randomly, and I could see myself unhauling them if I don't find time to read them in the next like year or so. We have The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. This one was just more funny than anything else, especially because my wife and I probably will eventually collect all of the Twilight books. I think actually my wife has a lot of them back at her childhood home, but this is definitely one of the ones we don't have. It's just like so tiny, and it just kind of seemed funny for me to pick it up, so we added this one to my bag. I also picked up this, which is Kathleen, the Celtic Knot. This is one of the Girls of Many Lands book series that were released through like the American Girl doll catalogs. I saw this and I was like, I have such a distinctive memory of reading the American Girl doll catalog when I was younger and seeing this book. And again, another book I just thought was kind of funny and very nostalgic. Okay, the next book I picked up is Youngblood by Sasha Lorenz. This book I'd seen around on BookTube mostly because of the cover. I love the like illustration style here. This is a young adult lesbian romance, but with vampires. I just kind of liked the vibe of it, and I also like this like shorter style of hardcover. I don't know if I'll get to it. It wasn't necessarily something high on my priority list, but since I own it, I figured we'll see if I end up reading it. Also, again, lesbians and vampires. I feel like just that enough should be a reason for me to try and read it. Okay, the last book we have in this haul is definitely quite the vibe shift. I picked up Evicted by Matthew Desmond. This is a nonfiction book I heard about through Elliot Brooks' channel. The full title is Evicted, Poverty, and Profit in the American City. This is definitely one of those nonfiction books that is obviously not very enjoyable to read, but at the same time is something you probably should learn about. Just all of the financial hardship that goes into trying to avoid being evicted and what it's like to become unhoused. The way Elliot Brooks described it and her experience reading it, I was definitely very moved and thought it sounded really interesting. So when I saw this at the book sale, I decided to add it to my bag as well. And that's going to be it actually for all the books I picked up so far this year. Like I said before, I think I'm doing a pretty good job at being deliberate about the books I bring into my home. And the only books I've really thrifted have been the ones I got from that library book sale. And the fact that we're almost halfway through the year and I'm not at that halfway point for my budget, I think is pretty good. And to be honest, I don't know if there's a ton of books I would buy for the second half of the year that would make me go over my budget. That being said, I thought we would end off this video by transitioning into talking about my wish list, aka all of the books I think I will be pre-ordering. The first set is ones I mentioned previously in this video, and that is the 6th, 7th, and 8th volumes of Heaven Official's Blessing. These ones are definitely the biggest financial commitment because each of these special edition volumes is like $30, so that's basically like $90 I have to set aside in my budget to buy these volumes. However, I am really enjoying the series. I definitely think I want to keep the series overall, like in terms of the volumes I already own. So I feel like continuing to get the special editions so they will look really good when they're all displayed together is something I'm willing to commit to. And I think a kind of like light goal for the rest of the year of me reading the rest of this series is something that's very doable. Another book I mentioned earlier in this video that I would love to get is Edge of Mercy, which is the third and final book in the Sugar and Vice trilogy. This book, like I said before, I think is coming out in June or July, and I definitely will get it probably soon after it releases. I'm not sure yet if there's going to be another like Barnes & Noble pre-order sale where I can pick this up and like technically like pre-order it within a couple weeks of it coming out, but I definitely will try to do that if there was another Barnes & Noble sale before its release date. Another book I am hoping to add to like a Barnes & Noble pre-order sale is Unrivaled. This is going to be the 7th and I think final book in the Game Changer series. I think this book originally was planned to come out in like October of 2026, but it's actually been pushed forward to June of 2027, which I'm definitely not mad about. Obviously, I think Rachel Reed deserves as much time as she needs to make this book as good as possible. Also, I think a June, Pride Month release date fits the book so well. I'm just super excited to get this book at some point in the future. I'm definitely going to pre-order the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition as well. The next one is The Mirror of Infinite Endings by Stephanie Garber. This is the Eva Jacks Once Upon a Broken Heart ending novella. This book I honestly kind of forgot was on my radar for a while, but I do think I want to pick it up. I'm not going to get the US edition. I think I'm going to try and order the UK edition from Blackwell's, just because I missed out on doing the pre-order campaign for the US edition where you got like a special cover. And overall, I do feel like the UK editions are much prettier than the US versions. So I'm just going to get it from Blackwell's. Maybe have to pay a little bit more for the shipping, but I think it'll be worth it to have that edition overall. And the last book I have on my wish list is The Misfit Caravan by K.D. Edwards. This book, I'm so excited for it to come out. We don't have a cover or anything yet, but initially I think this book was supposed to come out in July. I think it's been pushed now to like December of this year. This is the 4th book in the Terror Sequence series, and I am so excited to read it. I absolutely love the first 3 books in this series. I gave 2 of them 5 stars when I read them last year, and I just can't wait to get back into this series, get back into this world. I do have, I think, like 2.5 novellas and like other like miscellaneous like short stories and stuff to read in the meantime. But yes, I'm so excited for this 4th book to come out. And I can't wait to see what the cover is going to look like, because the illustrations for the first 3, I love the cover illustrations for them. The one for The Last Son, honestly, one of my like favorite covers of all time. I just love the design for the main characters and how they look on that cover. So I'm super excited to see what the 4th one is going to look like. There's other books that I kind of have on my back burner of they might come out this year, so I might eventually buy them. Books like the 4th and final Locked Tomb book, Alecto the Ninth, we still have no idea when that is coming out. The 3rd book in the Dark Rise series by C.S. Pacat. I think a lot of people have speculated that it is going to come out in fall of 2026, but at this point, they probably should have announced it. So I think it's probably more likely it's coming out sometime in 2027. If either of those books get like surprise announcement dates that are in this year, I definitely will be pre-ordering them. But otherwise, that is kind of a look at the books I think I'm going to pick up the rest of this year. There probably will be at least like 1 or 2 more library sales I go to, so who knows what else in terms of books I will thrift, what those books will end up being, but those are at least my planned new releases I'm hoping to get sometime this year. Anyway, with that all said and done, we are now at the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider liking, commenting, or subscribing if you aren't already. Consider following me on the Storygraph if you'd like to see my reading updates in real time, as well as following me on my Bookstagram, both of which are linked in the description. And that's going to be it for me today. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!